king browser Palakestes. Its size enabled it to reach high up the tree trunks and made it more than a match for the pouched predator of the woodlands, the thylacine. But even Palakestes was dwarfed by Procoptodon. It was a short-faced kangaroo with an appetite for leaves. A very big appetite indeed. It stood 3 meters tall and weighed more than twice as much as a man. The polar ice sheets expanded. Australia's forests dried and died. Here, at the edge of the spreading deserts, herds of Diprotodon grazed the saltbush. These rhino-sized animals were the heaviest marsupials there had ever been. Thylacoleo, the so-called marsupial lion, was actually no larger than a leopard, too small to tackle an adult Diprotodon. But woe betide the youngster who failed to keep up with the herd. Because Thylacoleo had evolved from plant eaters, it inherited no canine teeth. Instead, it grew stabbing incisors and unique blade-like premolars that could shear through flesh and bone. The largest carnivore of arid Australia was not a mammal, but a lizard. Megalania would have dwarfed its modern cousins, the goannas of Australia and the dragons of Komodo. It grew to a monstrous 7 meters in length. It was capable of sudden bursts of speed and could have overpowered the largest Diprotodon. But why waste precious energy to catch your own meal, when by sheer intimidation you can steal someone else's? Less than 100,000 years ago, Australia was still a land of giants. Huge flightless birds browsed like feathered giraffes on the higher branches. There were reptilian herbivores as well. The horned tortoise cropped the tough scrub of the Australian bush. It was well protected, but its most effective defense was its ability to retaliate. Australia's isolation had long since ended. 15 million years ago, the crustal plate on which it lay crunched into the southern edge of Asia, and the islands of Indonesia became the stepping stones between two worlds. Birds and bats could cross the narrow seas with ease. Then the first land rodent made the crossing. Tough and resilient, the newcomer made itself at home. But the next arrivals would change Australia to suit their needs. Homo sapiens arrived in Australia. Humans brought with them skills which would transform the continent, the making of tools and weapons, which would make them Australia's most effective predators. Language and culture with which to interpret their new world and to pass on their understanding to their young. And above all, the mastery of fire. With fire they remade the landscape. Year after year they burnt the bush, until only the fire-adapted plants survived. The broad-leafed forests that had recycled precious moisture disappeared. Droughts became frequent. Whether it was fire and climate change or the spears of the new invaders that caused the extinction of Australia's largest herbivores, we still don't know. We do know that by 20,000 years ago, they'd gone. The survivors were the small, the wary, and the swift. With so much of their prey gone, the large predators went too, until only the thylacine was left.